Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I have invented the 5. Make it 10-minute meeting. All right, here we go. Ashland City Council meeting of February 7th starts with a council training. Assistant City Manager Sabrina Cotta. He looks kind of like this. And she was like, yeah, you all got a binder 2 weeks ago, and here's a PowerPoint summary. And then she introduced a regional deputy general council person, and this was an hour basically of basics, and honestly, it didn't need to take up public meeting time. This was info that was 99% for the counselors, and so then the general counsel finished with, so any questions? And this one goes, thank you, moving on. Guess not. Then the city manager's report, here he is. City Manager Joe Lessard. 5 days. He goes, hey, inviting stakeholders to the March 6th Economic Roundtable. We've invited 12, but we can do 15, so any minor additions are welcome. Then he said, hey, City Hall. We are moving the Plaza Police Kiosk, you know, that cop in the box over there that no one ever uses, into City Hall, and then on the first floor. And then a city councilor meeting space is going to be on the first floor. And the city attorney and the city recorder are going to be there on the first floor. And then some people are going to be on the second floor. No timeline said, but it's progress, right? I mean, that's not bad. Hiring, he said, hey, the present budget has money for 245 employees, and we only have 229. So looking to fill 16 extra positions. That includes police, IT, parks, electric, planning, an engineer, EMT. So we're looking for those. And then the look ahead, he says, hey, March 16th, there's the Economic Roundtable and Citizens Budget meeting. Meetings begin on April 27th. New councilor appointments are going to be on February 22nd. Travel Ashland is coming on February 22nd. Bonneville Power is negotiating with our electric utilities. So that's happening someday. That was unclear. And then March 7th is the town hall follow-up, and the Parks and Rec reporting, and the housing strategy, and the 5G presentation. And on March 21st, there's the rail yard discussion. And this one said, thank you, moving on. That was kind of her thing at the moment there. And then, so then off we go to public forum. The pesky homeowner, you know him in the plaid, he said, hey, city government needs to stop all this turmoil, confusion, and instability. The building project on Hellman, like many downtown building projects, is a violation of the public trust. And then the short 5G lady with a hat said, all electricity is unsafe. Yeah. And then a bald guy who hates the Billings Ranch cell tower said, I hate this tower. And then the consent agenda, the anti-Semitism proclamation it was proposed there. And so the short social justice and racial equity lady, she said that the group put together this together as a result of the Medford menorah being vandalized recently, and said that Oregon doesn't have many anti-Semitic declarations, so this might be a good example for other municipalities. And this one read the proclamation, and of course it was all approved. And then there was the appointment of the citizens to other committees, and and this one then fumbled his way through some motion to approve, and then finally got there and it was approved. And then the mixed-use building project on Hellman, pesky homeowner mentioned, that was approved a couple of meetings ago. The planning director, Brandon Goldman, he looks like this. He goes, hey, we just add all the little changes you guys talked about a couple weeks ago. We just added those to this language, and so this is at the last, and so we're submitting that back to you. And they all went, oh, we like it. That's all good, approved. And then the food and beverage ballot measure. Okay, so City Manager Joe Lessard. He says, hey, look, we cleaned up some language from the old ordinance proposals, and before you is a ballot measure that gives Parks and Rec 98% of all food and beverage tax money, with a minimum of 25% going to capital improvement repairs or expansions. And then there's some public testimony showed up, and then the guy who loves, he goes, I want more money for parks. The guy, he showed up and said, he goes, hey, this is Joe Lessard. He said he had to clean up my original ballot language because apparently he wrote and he goes, but the original petition was good and this guy was wrong. And wah. and the food and beverage tax should go on forever. And then a lady in a plaid shirt said, I want this measure on the ballot. And then a lady with glasses on her head said, this should all wait, and we should fill the empty council spots first and go through the whole budget process before we put this on a ballot. And then the super old, she was like 20 years ago mayor showed up, and she said, she goes, oh, this ballot measure is fair. And well, she kind of like kicked back and did it like, this ballot measure is fair. And she said, I invented the food and beverage tax. I invented this council. I invented voting, and supporting our parks with any and all taxes is just as important as being against anti-Semitism. And then this one says, she goes, hey, why don't the parks people have to need to get 3,000 signatures to put this on the ballot? And the city manager, Joe Lessard, says, look, that's a citizens' initiative, requires signatures, and that gets an initiative on the ballot circumventing the council. This is a referendum, and that council wants on the ballot, so you just vote to put it there. And this one goes, he goes, hey, let me make a motion. And he botched it so bad that nobody even seconded it. So this one goes, hey, she goes, okay, this is how you do it. I move we put this on the ballot, but we have the food and beverage tax sunset, which end in 2040, not 2030. And this guy goes, well, I didn't hear any specific words in that about trails in that motion, so I'm confused. So we should do what the Parks wants us to do. So I call Parks Commissioner Rick Lanton, Parks Director Michael Black to the stand. And so these two stand up, and these two show up, and then this guy goes, he goes, so what do you guys think? He goes, is it okay if I vote for that motion? And this one goes, this is the one guy who goes, this Commissioner Rick Lance says, oh, that's fine, it's fine. And then Parks Director Michael Black goes, this is none of my business, I'm passed. And then so they just decided to vote, and it passed 4-1. This one, of course, this one said no, thumbs down. And then city council compensation ballot measure. So City Attorney Doug McGarry, he looks like this guy. He said, this is written so that council doesn't vote for its own pay raise. It asks voters to vote on their pay raise. And so then city manager Joe Lessard says, quick backstory. Council pay is like $350 a year, and it was set in 1954. So last year, he was like me, which was like him and Doug McGarry, those two guys, said we decided that health insurance that the councilors got was the same as pay, and it was way more than $350. So we ended it. So we created this ballot issue to make up for that. And this one said, she goes, hey, past ballot budgets show that city used to pay about $1,700 a month for counselors' health insurance. But I did some math, and I propose that we suggest $900 a month for each counselor to compensate them for some kind of health insurance or whatever they want to spend. And so I propose we put this on the ballot for the $900 a month compensation for counselors. All approved. And then the mayor vacancy filing, unsurprise of the century. This one was nominated and accepted and was all approved. New mayor. There you go, Tony Graham. And there we go. And so let's stay here. I don't know. A city electric guy showed up and said, I'm asking permission to apply for a grant to help find spots in town for community solar projects. And that was all approved. And then this one comes, she goes, quick, back to that whole mayor electing thing. So since I'm not a counselor anymore, there's a second counselor opening. And so we need to fill that. And then this one, she goes, hey, I move that we follow the same procedure as the other counselor nomination, which is everyone needs to submit a application for that spot by February 14th, and then council will conduct an interview, and then we will appoint a new counselor to replace that Graham character there on February 22nd. That was all approved, and then a franchise agreement with Sprint extending for a year happened. Whatever that was all approved, and that was the end of the meeting. You're welcome.